Well, hello there, good day to you. You're watching Hello Malaysia. I'm Anne Edwards, and we're just a couple of days from the announcement of Budget 2012 that's going to happen on Friday, October 7th. And we would expect, it is highly expected, that a lot of measures and details in Budget 2012 is going to be geared towards achieving a higher income economy right here in Malaysia. And it is apt that we, Wednesdays with Ernie, will discuss how to achieve a higher income economy through education. Ernie Chen, right next to me, CEO and founder of Edson Group of Companies. Welcome back again.
Thank you very much for having me back, Anne. Always good to be here.
Felt like the days just passed by so fast, and it was just yesterday we were talking to you, but it was last Wednesday. And of course we have a guest as well, Jeremy Lee, who is from Edson. Yes. And you are the CEO, of Edson's Nuan Berhad. Welcome to our show, Jeremy.
Right, thank you.
In your view, let's start with Ernie, and to sort of recap what is a high income economy all about, because we've been shouting about it. The government has been saying that they're doing a lot to achieve a higher income economy. In a nutshell, Ernie, what do you think?
Bottom line, high income economy is to make sure that all Malaysians, right, make a whole lot of money that is inclusive of everyone. And is sustainable, meaning to say for a very long time to come. So for all Malaysians, including everyone, that is able to make a whole lot of money for a very long time to come. Sustainability. So that's what high income economy is really all about.
How much, on the average, should every individual be earning?
An average about 48,000 per annum. That's what they would need to have on a per annum for anyone to be able to sustain, to live in such inflation rates in the years to come. And you look at it, an average about 4,000 ringgit Malaysia. If you don't make that in years to come by 2020, you're going to be in poverty rate. So in Malaysia, if Malaysia in the next 9 years over here by 2020, which is what we want to achieve, we must be able to achieve that. If we do not, most of us who are making below 4,000 ringgit Malaysia per month will start to be in poverty rate, and you're going to start suffering. And today we look at living of cost, which is rightfully pointed in the headlines of most of the major newspapers, is that rising cost of living is one of the number one concern of all the people in the rakyat of Malaysia. That's what they want the government to address in this next budget coming up.
And given the fact that, there is a surge in the cost of living in Malaysia, Jeremy, how much on the average should every Malaysian be earning these days, especially in Klang Valley? What is your take on this?
All right. Now, expenses is rising. We know that. Subsidies are not going to be around for much longer. We also are well aware of that. And I'm very sure that our Prime Minister would say something about how subsidies are going to be reducing over the next few years. In the Klang Valley, I would say the figure, when the time it comes to 2020, would have to be a lot higher than what we call 4,000 per month. Right? It is going to be somewhere, I would say, close to 6,000 per month. Because you must remember, the way it's calculated is based on GNI. GNI is the total productivity that we have in Malaysia, the total amount of income that we earn, everything, divided by the total number of people, the population. So imagine if I have a family of 4, right? That means that 4 need to be earning 16,000. So if the father and mother is only 2 that are working, each of them should be bringing back 8,000.
Anything less than that would be below poverty line.
Below poverty, I mean, you're pretty much broke. You better die faster or find your own way to dig your own grave, That's what we need to do. I mean, the people of Malaysians no longer can expect subsidies to come from the government all the time. I was in Thailand not too long ago.
Yes, subsidies, I've been told, it's not a very healthy...
No, absolutely not. Subsidies make people feel comfortable all the time. I was just saying, I was in Thailand not too long ago, and I looked at the records of gas, oil and gas. In Malaysia, it's actually the cheapest.
In the region.
In the region, which is, we're still complaining that it's too expensive and so forth and so on. I'm not encouraging the government to increase gas, but the reality is, if the government keep on subsidizing petrol, we will go bankrupt as a country. And we definitely become in the same ranks of all those countries that have gone bankrupt in the recent years. So definitely not something that the rakyat should always be looking forward to, which is subsidies, right? The rakyat should be looking at how to get better, learning more things, more skills, in different areas so that they can make more money, higher income, to sustain that income, the inflation rates of what is expected of them to pay to survive in the new economy that we are currently in.
But it's like a chicken and egg situation, yeah? I mean, do you take away those subsidies bit by bit, but then again, your income remains the same because you're not competitive enough currently? So which one should the government do first?
Always, if you want to make your people feel a lot more competitive, you got to just remove it immediately. People will naturally have more instincts, have more faith in people to strive for their survival. If you don't put them in situations where that's not needed, they will never be able to survive a lot faster, stronger on their own. If you keep on thinking that we need to subsidize, we're creating a culture of subsidy. If without subsidy, we cannot survive. That is the mentality that a lot of people currently are already developing and have. And that's a very wrong mindset. Ask yourself this question. In Africa, what is subsidy? Is there such a thing as subsidy? If you don't make money, you don't have an opportunity to make money, what do you eat? You eat mud pies. You just eat whatever you can get your hands on. You will figure out how to create pies out of mud and you still eat it. Bottom line is very simple. The more we give, and every single time we give, people expect more. You give whatever amount, it's never going to be enough. Will the riot ever be satisfied? Never, for as long as we keep on giving. We're saying get the government to use the money to help develop these people instead of just giving point blank free money. We're saying give them something where they can use that to develop and to make more money, income in the near future. Giving people money will not give them high income driven economy, whatever not. High income economy needs to be earned. That's why sometimes we like to call it high earning economy. You need to earn more money. All right, by subsidizing is not the way to go. By getting people to be better, hired by multinationals all over the world, that's what it's all about. So you make more money because you are competent and therefore you're able to sustain for a very long time to come.
Right. So how will Malaysia be able to achieve this high-income economy? I mean, you said subsidy. What are the other areas that government should be looking into in order to achieve this? Perhaps education?
Yes.
What about it?
Yeah, for example, in Australia, you have your plumbers. Your plumbers are highly certified professionals. They have a plumbing school. I've not come across a plumbing school in Malaysia. If any one of you out there would like to start a plumbing school and offer certificates in that, they are highly paid vocational professionals. They are very skills-based. They have theoretical ways of understanding what is the best way and practically going through training of how to become a professional certified plumber. There's no such thing in Malaysia. Malaysia, you open your classified, you call the next person, Akawa, you have your plumbing services, is it? You call, your price is right, come and take a check, they'll charge you whatever is the right price. And is that the best service? We don't know. He's not certified. He has learned from his skills. But imagine that you don't have to go to school, but you have proper certification, proper academies to provide that training. That will help bring our plumbing standards, and standards of living also increase. People will be able to make better incomes, and they can travel just about anywhere to do that kind of services. So it no longer becomes a plumbing service. It needs to be the lower level, low class people doing it. We hire up class people, don't do that. If you go to more developed countries like America, Australia, plumbers are highly paid, and they are the ones that are highly respected. Imagine if no one is there to clear your you-know-what, you're not going to be you-know-what too comfortably. So therefore, it's important for us to note plumbers are just as important. So to all plumbers out there, thank you very much for clearing our you-know-what.
Okay.
Well, another note, what we need to be doing is to be a lot more innovative. As Malaysians, we have been followers. We follow whatever the West is doing, we follow whatever Europe, Japan,
We have to follow
anywhere,
some country
everywhere. Yeah, we follow.
or some people and culture.
Correct. But if we want to become a high-income economy, we need to start innovating. We need to really say, hey, this is the Malaysian way, this is the way we do things in Asia, this is how world-class best practices are in Malaysia. And we are setting that world-class best practice. Because if we are followers, we are not going to become a high-income economy. Because the high-income economy will be those who are leading that innovative phase. So to become a high-income economy in the next 9 years, right, we really need to put in place some very innovative strategies, of which the government has started doing, which is great. But as with our issue in Malaysia, it's always great strategy, great idea, bold ideas, but how's the implementation?
Right. That's always questionable.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it is.
So how or when will we ever achieve a higher income economy?
Very simple. I mean, just make sure the strategies are implemented. If someone is not doing the job, fire them. Get them out of the job. I mean, talking is cheap. At the end of the day, results is what we are looking at, you know. If the ministers are doing their job, the rakyat will feel the results. If the rakyat is not feeling better results, means I'm not having a better living, I'm not making a higher income. If everyone is still making below 4,000 in the next couple of years, as stated, to become a high income economy, fire all the ministers, change the ministers, you know. If the ministers who have their people reporting to them, or the ketua pengaras in the departments and all the ministries, if they're not doing their job, give them KPIs, fire them, change it. We as a rakyat have the right to undi, to change. If we feel the government is doing a good job, vote them in. Don't vote because it's the party, vote because the man is doing his job. You know, I think it's very important for us to not just fall in love with characters or fall in love with the party or the personality. We need to focus and be passionate about the results that's being done by these people for our country. Don't love the person because of him. Don't love him because he looks good, or her because she looks beautiful. Love her or him because of what they do for us. If it's about raising the income, make sure we are making more. If it's about increasing productivity rate, make sure that's being done. If it's about raising the minimum wage and having a minimum wage, make sure that is done. Set a deadline, make sure the minister ensures that that is done. If it's not done, fire the person. It's as simple as that. Because talk is cheap. After a while, warning. How much warning you want to give? You have to take action. You have to show people that we mean business. The strategies are meant to be implemented. They're not meant to be a beautiful piece of paper and everyone just looks at it and say, you know what, hey, we got a great piece of paper. But you know what? It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen anyways. People are not stupid. The rakyat have become a lot more intelligent in the last few years. In the last many years, they're becoming more vocal. And with all this repealing of the ISA, people are going to be even more vocal. They're going to be even more vocal to express their thoughts, their opinions, to say that, you know what, you're not doing enough for me. I am a Malaysian. You need to do this. And that's why the government is going to have a lot of check and balance. If they don't do it, they will be watched. People will voice up and people will say it to the world, not just to Malaysians.
But on another note, what I'd like to put is this. For us to become a high-income economy, Malaysians as a whole needs to sacrifice. It's a
sacrifice.
Must. Yes. Why sacrifice? Very basic thing. We need to take it now. We need to make the sacrifice now. It's because we need to cut things like the subsidies. Right? That's number one. We need to look at the way we are living. Right? We need to enhance our education system. All these things need to be done. Now, sacrifice is extremely important. It's because we are actually sacrificing now for the future. Because if we don't cut all these subsidies, we are not going to achieve it. Yes, we will still be a high-income economy in the year 2020. Great, fantastic. But guess what? Our subsidies will probably be a lot bigger than what it is now. That's one thing. The other thing that we'll probably be looking at is, hey, we're probably not as competitive as our neighbors next door. Right. Indonesia is coming up. Thailand is coming up very quickly. And guess what? Vietnam. Tremendous growth in the last few years. FDIs are just flowing in there. We are losing FDI. They are getting the FDIs.
Yeah, it's going the other way around.
Yeah, it's going the other way around.
All right, we have a call on the line. Encik Nizam from Johor Bahru. Hello.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Hi, Nizam. Good to have you back.
Thanks. Okay, now, related with these issues, in my views, to be in a high income economy, we must build up or emphasize first the knowledge-based economy first. Now that's the knowledge-based economy that we are, we still emphasize it, but I didn't see any sentence to these issues. Now, related of this issue also, some of the situation we need to be a follower instead of being in first line of any situation. Now, I'll seek your opinion on it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll answer the question when we take one short break and come back. We're talking about education for a higher income economy. Stay with us on Hello Malaysia. Be right back. Yes, thanks for staying with us on Hello Malaysia, education for a higher earning economy. That's what we're talking about tonight. And the number to call is 0326937008. We had Nizam from Johor Bahru just a while ago on two main issues, namely knowledge-based economy and whether that should be given preference and how do we create this community. Also, perhaps that one should be a follower instead of being a frontliner as far as innovation or creation of a product or service is concerned. Yeah, perhaps you'd like to take the first one.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the knowledge-based economy, we have adopted as a country. Dr. Mahathir announced it in the Global Knowledge Conference, which was held in PWTC, Putra Wujud Centre, on the 8th of March 2000. We're in 2011.
How do you remember that date so well?
I'm pretty good with dates and with some significant
I'm
events.
Check on it after.
Yeah, it's 8th of March 2000, where Global Knowledge Conference. Dr. Mahathir announced that in order for Malaysia to move forward, the way forward as a country to achieve, he didn't use the word high income economy at that time, he used the word the way forward for Malaysia to be competitive as a country with all these other countries in the world. We need to adopt the knowledge-based economy, moving away from the industrial economy. The knowledge economy was very simple that we need to do two things. First thing, we need to reinvent all public and private sectors in Malaysia. And that's why we started on the government-linked company transformation. Now we're going through the government transformation program, the GDPs, the GLCs transformation. So we did the GLCs, the private government-linked companies, and then we had the private sector. And we need that. The first thing is to reinvent all corporations, all public and private. Secondly, all Malaysians need to reinvent themselves. As citizens of Malaysia, need to reinvent ourselves from becoming people who are very good at assembly lines, manufacturing plants where we are able to just do things in accordance to what is needed to be done. We need to break that line and to create new ways of doing the same thing better. So what we're saying is, instead of using our bronze, our energy, our physical self, we start to need to use more of our brains. We need to start to play on roles as designers, creators, innovators. We need to, instead of having made in Malaysia, meaning to say assembled in Malaysia, we need to start to design televisions. We need to start to work with partners, JV, create our own new cars, and then manufacture other countries, because the cost of production in other countries become cheaper, purely because of labor. So as a country in Malaysia, we need to move away from the mindset that we just need to do things that is within our comfort zone. We need to start becoming more innovative. Look at opportunities of what people are doing that they're not adding value to the customers. As simple as just opening a restaurant. What is your neighbor not doing that you know for a fact a customer would appreciate you doing? Open it right next to them. Do those things and you will win the competition. If you know they're not cooking good food, cook food that is good, that tastes good. If they are charging a little bit more, charge a little bit less. If they are not smiling at the customer, smile at the customer more. If they are not giving enough for the customer, give more to the customer. If there's not enough variety, give more variety. Look at opportunities to create those little innovation moves that you can win over your competitors. And that's what we're talking about, winning against the competitors in the world.
Okay, we've got another caller on the line. We'll also answer Nizam's second question in a while. Mr. Robert from Shah Alam. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi,
Yeah.
Robert.
Yes.
You have a question? Please go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
While I agree that this what the two speakers have mentioned regarding the work that is needed, they are largely foundational. When the Prime Minister talks about the high-income economy, I am very sure that the speakers are off in a tangent. When we say high-income economy, we are referring to the general population having the ability to move up the value chain, meaning things like the ability to innovate. Yes, I agree, it should be across the board, but high economy relates to innovation, ideas about new ways of doing things, better and more effective ways of doing the same thing, like value management and so on. so that competitively speaking, we move up the value chain. Generally speaking, meaning like one fine day where we can have 10,000 income, annual monthly income per month in say 10 years, 5 to 10 years time. In today's value, let's not talk about inflation. Let's talk about the income as we would have now in future. In today's value, what should it be? And I'm very sure that the Prime Minister is not talking about 4,000. And that can't be anything of a high-income group. So on that count, I would beg to differ that unless the Speaker have got this information from the Prime Minister, I really doubt that's what he wants, because that's far too low. And comparatively speaking, we are good, but we have not been able to capitalize on the skill sets that we have and the language that our people command. We are able to articulate to some extent, but we do not have the opportunity to export these ideas across our national boundaries. So while some of us have succeeded, we have succeeded, but have succeeded overseas. My question is, why don't these people succeed in Malaysia? Is it because those who went overseas are smart and those that are not smart are retained in Malaysia? My belief is that is not true. It's just that those who stay in Malaysia are not given the opportunity to succeed or to perform or encouraged in one way or another. The government has failed this group of people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert. Actually, what he was relating, apart from the questioning the 4,000 income bracket, is also the fact that the opportunity given locally, should be expanded.
Let me first answer the question on the facts and data of the 4,000 ringgit. If you refer to today's Star paper, it's stated very clearly in there, Robert, so kindly take up the Star paper today. I was also at the One Malaysia conference that was also announced by the Prime Minister himself. I was at the conference and that was the exact figure that was provided. So those are the facts. That's where I said the 48,000. So please kindly refer to the newspaper today. And as far as today, creating the opportunities, should the country create more opportunities? That's exactly what we're talking about. We are saying that the country should not just give subsidies. The country must provide that platform for the people to be educated on how to have higher income economy. Give them skills, train them well so that they can compete with the rest of the world.
Skills and language.
I mean, the good
skills
thing,
and language.
Yes, skills and language. I mean, the good thing the government is doing is they are really providing that platform. Like what you see happening, right? Greater KL, projects of Greater KL. They're giving that platform. Now the thing about us Malaysians is whether we have the ability, the knowledge, and the skill set to take on that platform. Because if we create all these things, all this infrastructure, guess what? If we Malaysians are not going to use it, we don't have the ability to use it, the foreigners will come in and they will use it.
Okay, and that brings us to the second question from Nizam, which is, should we, or are we better off as followers rather than frontliners in creating new products and services as far as innovation is concerned? Ernie?
Well, from my point of view, it's very simple. I think we have always tried too hard to want Malaysians to become the next Google, the next Facebook. There's nothing wrong with that, My next question is, how many of the world are Facebookers who have created Facebook? Is the Mark Zuckerberg. It's cool if you can become the next Malaysian. I support you and I encourage you all the way. But we must encourage more people to be innovative and look at whatever is out there that you can create an opportunity for yourself to do better. So we don't necessarily want to just say, let's keep pushing for the next one to become the next big thing. We focus too much on becoming the next big thing. We can just become the thing. We don't have become the next big thing. Nothing wrong with either one, but we need to always focus on just doing better first. The high income economy is just to make sure that we are able to earn more for a very long time to come. Sustainable. It's not just a one-off thing and boom, you have the 2-3 person who is the next billionaire and then we forget about the rest of the world. That's why it's called inclusiveness and sustainability. And that's exactly what the whole entire GDP, Government Transformation Program, the whole Economic Transformation Program is all about. The government, the Prime Minister keeps talking about making sure inclusiveness, sustainability. Inclusiveness meaning everybody must be involved. So if his people are not making sure everybody's involved, something is wrong.
Right.
If it's not sustainable for a long period of time, something is wrong. So we just need to base it on just these two things. It's stated very, very clearly in the 9, 10, the following Malaysian plans to come. We just have to make sure that everyone, as far as Malaysians are concerned, whether you're Malaysia or the rest of the world, it doesn't matter. And to answer Robert, can we compete better in other countries? We always look at the grass is always greener in other countries. I personally like to think that Malaysia has got greener pastures and there are a lot of opportunities that we can create here that we can also be making money from abroad. So we don't have to think because the people who are in Malaysia are not as smart. We have smart people in Malaysia. We just decide that we want to have a home in Italy, we want to have a home in Australia. But you know what? We want to be Malaysians because we are proud Malaysians. So it doesn't matter where we are today. We may have homes everywhere. But at the end of the day, is as long as we know that this place create opportunities and platform for us.
But perhaps something is not quite right because Talent Corp's aim is to bring home Malaysians from abroad to work right here in Malaysia. They've even come up with incentives like a flat tax
50%.
rate of 15% for those who return back to Malaysia, but that's not quite working in fact. So, you know, how can Talent Corp,
I'll ask the big question. If you are giving them 15%, what about me? I'm the one who's working here. Am I not entitled to 15%? Which is a big question. Right.
But we're not luring you from abroad.
Correct.
To come
But
back
I'm already
here
here.
to
But
work
encourage
in
me to
Malaysia.
leave.
Yeah, I'm encouraging me to leave.
You're encouraging the local professionals who have been so committed to the country, who has been providing our professional service to the country to make the country a better place to live the country. So in one way, you're encouraging the expats, Malaysians to come back, but you are encouraging us to leave the country. So that should not be the way.
So you're saying that Talent Corp is not helping as much?
I think Talent Corp has their challenges.
Achieve
You
a
can't
higher
just
income economy.
You can't set up a company to expect to bring back Malaysians professionals to come back just because you're giving it 15%. This is not
tax rate.
This is not what they want. They want merit-based performance. That's what all these Malaysians in the rest of the world wants. They want to come back to a highly competitive market. What does that mean? It means that in order for us to provide them high income, we got to create a highly competitive marketplace so that anyone is in the market to fight for a better income and to do better. And that's what it's all about. For as long as you can Talent Corp to do this, do that, do everything, it will fail. I guarantee it will fail because the bottom line is Malaysians who are everywhere in the world want one simple thing. Fight with fairness, merit-based. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you're from, what color your skin is. Compete on a fair global platform.
Okay, we'll take a short break. Practice of meritocracy, and that's what we're going to be talking about when we come back and how this will help Malaysia achieve a higher income economy. Stay with us. Okay. All right, thanks for staying with us. And we have a caller on the line right now, Mr. Lingam from Malacca. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, Anne.
Hi, good evening. How are you, Mr.
Fine,
Lingam?
thank you.
Great.
Good evening, Ali. Good
Hi.
evening, Jeremy.
Hi, Mr. Lingam.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's a wonderful topic. In fact, education is a fact that education really is one of the main source of income. You know, if it's not proper education, but what is the target that we can achieve with the population to meet up to the target of, tertiary or some kind of, education that can bring in a lot of income to a person or whatever it is. But if you look at the present day generation of Malaysians, the education rate, maybe I would say, maybe more than half of it belongs below the tertiary level. People only study up to maybe SPM or whatever it is and go into the job market because, one, they need the finance. Secondly, maybe they feel that that's enough for them. There is no need to go further up because we can find. But I feel that many of these people on the lower category now, those who are not in the tertiary level, plastic money is so easy to obtain nowadays. You just get your credit card with a certain amount that you have. You can have 3-4 credit cards with you. And they feel that everything is easy, but they do not know that after some time, this will be their main thing that will be haunting them because they have been owing people here and there. So I feel that a lot of things, as what Ernie has said, the ministers or the people of the higher level who promises a lot of things should go into deeper into these people of the lower category, encourage them to be into, as you see now, in the government service, an office boy or a clerk, today he is doing a job at night as a driver, a taxi driver, or whatever it is. Why? To supplement his income for the family, because he doesn't belong to that bracket. 4,000 is too high for them. Living in Kuala Lumpur, even 4,000, it is not enough. In Malacca, as I come from Malacca, 4,000, just nice. To cross the border, you can live well. And I feel that to be a follower, I think it's better to be a front runner, because this will make you feel that you be the front runner and achieve better. And in the States, people do it yourself. They have a problem in the house, they repair it themselves. They have a problem with their car, they try to repair it themselves. Because why? Everything is expensive, everything is money. We should learn all these things so as to be in fact, we should be able to self-reliance towards this. So in the fourth running, that as we go, what Mr. Robert has said, 4,000 in a few years' time, it is not enough. It is going to be more than that. And what Ernie has said, subsidies should be thrown away, should be given, distributed. That subsidy money should be distributed to the Rakyat. See whatever you want to do. And let them use that money. If the price is high, that is the money that you're going to buy those things. So I feel that education plays a very important part, but the target to the main population, we have not come to that stage yet. I think it will take some time. So we have to go through this process. Maybe this Friday, the Prime Minister will come in with lots of wonderful, sugary,
election around the corner.
Package, right? So that's all I have to say. Maybe next Wednesday I may hear again from you, Ernie. Thank you very much. Good
Thank
night.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for your
Lingam.
call, Mr. Lingam.
Yeah, a lot of points that he brought up on the education rate, that a majority of our population is below tertiary level. And he's talking about plastic money. Yeah, there's a lot of spending here involved, and most people should realize that they can do it themselves, which is actually a way of innovation. Yeah, and the fact that there shouldn't be much. I mean, don't look at handouts. Perhaps the government, in order to get certain support from a segment or different segments of the population, would like to give handouts more than a long-term plan, so that people can plan for themselves and to educate themselves to reach that high level. What do you think, Ernie? Okay.
Well, bottom line is straight up. People want to make more money. If you want to make more money, two things. First, if you work hard, you have to work harder. That's it. Secondly, if you work smart, you have to work smarter. These are the two ways that I encourage and prescribe to anyone who wants to make a higher income. And to answer Mr. Lingam's question on tertiary level, I don't believe that all individuals need to have tertiary level education to be able to create wealth for themselves. You do not need to have a degree. You do not need to have a diploma, a master's, or PhD to be able to make high income.
Right.
If we are an expert, a specialist in a skill that no one else can do, and you are the only one who can provide such a service, you'll be high in demand, and that's where you make high income. Whenever we are not well, we are sick, we need to go for an operation, we want the best doctors in the world. We definitely don't want someone who has general skills, who is a general practitioner or general surgeon or general doctor. You want a general GP, we want a specialist, someone who's able to do it so well to take care of me. And that's what the knowledge economy is about. Someone with extreme technical skills in a particular area, and it can be a Malaysian. Provide that skill, everyone look for you. If you are the expert in plumbing, the whole Malaysia, the richest man's in Malaysia, I don't want to be serving 20 houses. I just want to serve one golden toilet bowl and make sure that golden toilet bowl is cleared. And that's where I'll be making my money, because I'll charge that golden toilet bowl man a lot of money just to clear his toilet.
Yeah, because it's gold anyway.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Jeremy, do you have anything to say?
Right, I think a lot of people out there have a slight misconception, right? The 4,000 that we are talking about doesn't mean that we are making 4,000. It just means that the country is
Yes.
generating that kind of income,
Yeah.
and it's divided by the population in the country. That's how the 4,000 derived. Now, and I totally agree with Ernie. It's not about getting the degree. It is about a person having certain abilities and having the smarts. The smart here is relationship smart. The smart here is street smart. The smart here is just that perseverance, that internal, I know I can do it. I know I can achieve what I want to achieve. That's the kind of people we are looking for. We don't need a lot of people with PhDs, and all they do is write and write and write and do nothing else. There's no value added.
Okay.
We don't need that. We need people who can
both of you,
generate.
but all of us have degrees, or
Yes,
even
all of
better,
us
we
do.
have masters.
Yeah, we have
do.
degrees not because we needed a degree to make high income economy. I mean, I'll be having lots of paper qualification. I have my master's. I have a double degree in theatre and mass communication. I have my master's in communication training. I mean, if I've got all these paper qualifications and I don't do anything about it, I'm back to ground zero.
Right.
So bottom line is not just about what paper qualifications you have. It's good to have them.
Correct.
But it's not the reason why you are going to be paid highly. I've got degree interviewees coming for interviews. So what if you're interviewee? You come and show me you got a degree from this top-notch university from the world of whatever notch. I don't care. Bottom line, you can't do your job, I'm going to fire you. Because bottom line today, all bosses want one thing: results. High productivity, high performance,
Result-oriented.
results.
Yeah.
You don't produce results, you're out the door. It's as simple as that. It may seem as it's cold-blooded, but that's the reality. You know that out there. I'm just saying what you're thinking right now. If you think that it's going to be a la-la land, we are just going to say kumbaya in the office, believe me, it's not kumbaya land. You can have a jambalaya in the pantry and have fun eating that, but it's not a kumbaya situation. You don't produce result, you don't generate income for the company, you're out the door. That's reality.
And if we
It
don't
is.
go and continue saying that, giving people this message, guess what? We are not going to achieve a high income economy, because we're still going to have a lot of people in the organization doing nothing much and just sitting there collecting money but not adding any value. Because we are talking about Malaysians as a whole adding a tremendous amount of value to the economy. Not just the government, but Malaysians as a whole.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back to your suggestion, Ernie, and of course Jeremy, we spoke about removing subsidies. That's one sure way of creating a higher income economy, because
Yes.
you make people more competitive,
More hungry.
more hungry,
Productive.
meritocracy.
Yep.
Can we talk about that? Practice of meritocracy
Yes.
in
Definitely.
Malaysia, and this will help achieve a higher income economy. How's that?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, now, I was reading some report from the World Bank. They were just recently released in 2000.
World Bank,
Yeah, the World Bank in 2011. And one of the reasons why a lot of people are leaving Malaysia, based on that report, it says that career development prospect was lacking in Malaysia. And I actually want to share a story that I remembered. When I was in the UK about 10 years back, I met a Malay gentleman who was young, and his wife was there with him, and I asked him what was he doing. He says he was in the automotive industry, and I asked the individual, hey, why don't you come back to Malaysia? You know, Proton would definitely need you, Perodua would definitely need you. And you know what he said? Well, not in the next 10, 15 years. And I asked him why. He said, well, because at that point of time, we just didn't do enough research. Yes, we had our protons, but according to him, not enough research.
Where
We'd rather
we
stay
here,
there.
right here.
Yes, here. The infrastructure. Now, guess what? You can build the infrastructure. We are good at doing that. We spend billions on building the infrastructure. But if the brains are not there to use the infrastructure, it is just infrastructure. It adds no value after the construction of it. Because what we really want is sustainability. Is that once you build that infrastructure, we still generate a lot of money from it. That's where the money is really sustainable,
Right.
not the building of it.
So your story?
I don't have a story. I just want to tell everyone out there, you know, we are not in support of any politicians. We are in support of the policies that is put in place by the labs We personally feel that the whole entire country have gone through a lot of changes, this transformation, that transformation. Some people say, what is this EPP? What is this NKEA? What is this NKRA? It's just confusing the whole freaking world. Bottom line is, to make it simple, just remember one thing. If you are not experiencing the change of things getting better, if you are not getting better transport, you know what you need to do. Because those are the promises the government has given us, right? So the policies, everything in place is great in our eyes as a rakyat. I'm just a normal citizen. Jeremy is just a normal citizen. We feel for the rakyat. I pay tax. And when I pay tax, I want to make sure I am gaining from the government using my money to provide back for the rakyat. I want better roads. I want better transportation. I don't want these things only when the election is around the corner. I want them every single year with my tax money that I'm paying. So I'm speaking on behalf of Malaysians, to our citizens who feel my pain. When I pay taxes, please make sure I get better transport. So they have put in place all these MRT plans. Support it, make it work. It's not about the politician, it's about the policies. If you look at the policies, you look at the strategies, if it's going to help the country, support that. Who cares who is the next Prime Minister or who is going to be continuously the Prime Minister? Most important, if it works for us, support it.
We'll take another short break. We'll be right back on Hello Malaysia, talking to Ernie Chen and also Jeremy Lee from AAC. Stay with us. We actually have a lot of questions more, but we are into our last segment on Hello Malaysia. Time flies when we have Ernie Chen on board Hello Malaysia, and he is also accompanied by Jeremy Lee, who is the CEO of AAC. So that's two separate, or AAC is a sister company of AAC group of companies.
It's the same company, you know. Jeremy runs the company, he's the CEO. I'm the group guy, because I also have Outlook Studios, and we have 8 different businesses. Well, we have 10 now. We started our restaurant 2 days ago, so that's pretty exciting. So we have 10 different kinds of businesses right now.
Sambal
Biniku, there you go. Sambal Biniku in Damansara Perdana. Let's stop by.
Which is also undertaking CSR. Effort,
yes.
right?
In fact, we are on a daily basis. Whatever lunch that we have from the nasi campur a la carte place, what we do is we pack them and send them to homeless people and also children in orphanages. So we have been doing that. It's very successful. And also on a monthly basis, we have invited orphanage homes to come over for a free meal, and we also do a lot of training for the children development as well. Yeah, so that's another area of what we are doing.
A lot of support, a lot of people coming.
Yes, tremendous.
Great.
We've got volunteers already who want to do the food.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So our topic, which was heated up just a while ago, education for a higher income economy.
Yes.
Where are we going from here? To achieve this? Yeah.
Well, where are we going from here? Well, basically, we need to learn to be a little bit more patient with ourselves. What do I mean? Now, it's got to take some time to happen. It's got to take some time. A lot of people are expecting overnight changes. We're talking about a generation that needs to be trained to be more global in the way they think. So Malaysia is just a small fish in this big little world.
So do we start by improving our education system?
Most definitely. I mean, the government has started doing that. They want more people, more kids to be in kindergarten. Okay. They want more kids to be able to read and write before they start standard 1, right? They have started ranking the schools. Right, so that they push the.
You're talking about public schools.
Yes, public schools. They have paying teachers more.
Schools are really,
private schools are competing for money, so they are always going to push that limit. How they perform and things like that. Right. So this is where we are looking at. But at the same time, what's happening here is the worrying part, I would say, is a lot of the graduates that are coming out are not suitable for the industry. Right.
Across the board?
Across the board. Now, example, right? I'm just giving it. There's a very big multinational company in Malaysia, right? It's based in KL. What's happening there is they are actually importing a lot of Indian talent. I'm talking people from India to do the job in Malaysia. Why? They can't find a local talent to do it. And I was a bit, why are you importing, Indian from India? And they said this to me. Whenever we give them the assessment, well, guess what? Most of the time, the Malaysian student will fail. They can't even pass it. They can't even get 50%. And they think 50% is great. They said, I don't expect 50%. I want 80% at least. Guess what? The Indians are able to get the 80%.
How's that?
because of the education system. It's as simple as that. So if you want a generation to train all these people, Jeremy's a bit more patient. I'm a little bit more impatient. I want it now, today.
We know that.
We need to change our education system right now, right away, so that our future will become brighter.
We also need to be globally inclined.
Correct.
That is necessary to achieve high income status.
Yes.
Right.
That's
There's also
right.
the way the GNI is calculated,
Yeah.
because GNI takes into account money coming in from overseas.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, globally inclined, of course, Malaysian education system. These are the two key points. What else?
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy, that's
Yep.
very important.
We cannot. Now, the best of the best needs to go to the best of the best schools. It has to be that way. We cannot put people and say, okay, just because he wants to be a doctor and he scores 40 because he's of a particular race, so therefore he becomes a doctor. We need the best of the best in school. And that's what's happening. Now, I'm not saying...
Is that happening?
Well, it's happening, but is it happening fast enough?
Okay.
That's why
That's a
I
good
still
question.
don't see it, you see.
So, Mr. Impatient?
It's very impatient because why? Everyone I speak to, I mean, people are parents out there. Their children are going to the schools. If their children can come and say, "Mommy, I don't want to go to the English teacher's class because I speak better English than the teacher." That's
Then
something
we have a
very wrong
problem.
somewhere. I mean, this is not from one parent. This is from a lot of parents. And I'm sure if you ask yourself right now, if you're watching, ask yourself and ask your friends or yourself, are your children coming home to say, "Mommy, I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't go to school because I'm not learning. I learn better from TV."
And computers.
And computers, so why go to school? That should be something very concerning. And it's not just because I'm talking to people from the city. You go anywhere, school has become very, very dull because it's not providing what our children need for their future. That's the fact. That's the reality.
And that's why more parents are inclined perhaps to send their children to private schools.
Or overseas.
Overseas.
Yes.
Most of our ministers send their children overseas. They themselves don't trust the education system in Malaysia. That's what they do. I mean, if our ministers are the one providing this and they're doing that, what are you telling us?
Anyway, I mean, the world is looking for talent. A very good example, Singapore, the Asian scholarship. They will take you in as early as after you've passed
Also
your standard
Japan.
6. Yeah, Japan.
Also Japan, okay.
Well, everyone is grabbing talents, right?
And
Malaysia
science
needs to be
and
doing the same
technology
thing.
also play a role in helping to achieve a high income status.
That's right.
Definitely.
Of course, definitely. Science. I mean, it's not rocket science to figure out that technology and science is going to help us move forward in the near future. It's so critical today. I mean, every other second we're on Facebook. Every other second we're Googling up something to find whether we are being Googled or we are finding out who we are, where we are, how important we are. Everyone is doing that. I mean, everyone is having a shock syndrome process leveraging on science and technology. So is it important for a high-income economy? Sure, yes, most definitely. More importantly, make sure they're in English. Don't go back and say and teach these things in Bahasa Malaysia. That's not the international language. The international language is English, if not Chinese. These are the business global transaction languages. You cannot be flip-flopping, going back and forward all the time. Stick with one thing, move it through. If we keep on saying that, you know what, our children cannot understand English, that's why we go back, we're going to be really, really far behind.
That's what I mean by sacrifice. We need to make that sacrifice now, because if we don't do it, guess what? We've got to build another generation of people who can't speak English. We have lost that, right? What do you mean we have lost that? When we were gain independent, we were the second richest in terms of GNP at that point of time in Asia. Now where are we? Far, far below the rank, right? And one of the things that I think happened was that because our inability to speak English, that number of population has grown larger and larger and larger, and our competitiveness just went away purely because of that.
Okay, we need to wrap it up. Time's up. Ernie, next week we'll have education to start a new business. I know this is going to attract a lot of viewers as well. And if you've missed any of our episodes since we've started Wednesdays with Ernie, you can log on to www.edson.tv, www.edson.com. Those are the two websites that you can go to watch for tips from Ernie Chen, CEO, founder of Edson Group of Companies. And we've also had great input from Mr. Jeremy Lee, who is CEO of Edson. Thank you so much for your time on Hello Malaysia. I'll be seeing you once again, definitely. Bye-bye.